go through the slides and answer the questions. So to answer what is legal lending, I'll have to back up a bit in terms of what I do. So I am what's called a personal injury lawyer, and I represent clients who get injured and defendants who are represented by insurance companies, and we bring lawsuits and get them compensation. Now, as part of that process, I, as an injury lawyer, fund the entire litigation for the client, so the client does not have to pay anything during the course of the litigation. And I take my fee at the end when the claim settles, and I get a percentage of what we settle the claim for. But in addition to that, which is what's most relevant to the discussion here, is that I also fund the disbursements for the client, or the disbursements for the claim. And those disbursements are typically the smaller cost, as an example, for things like court filing fees and photocopying costs, courier costs, things like that, but also the more significant costs, which tend to be the clinical and medical aspects of the claim, and in particular the engagement of experts, which can cost exorbitant amounts of money to get the proper experts. Experts can charge $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 to prepare reports on various claims. So legal lending sprung up to essentially assist lawyers such as myself to essentially do that, to pay the disbursements along the way. So the money is lent to the lawyer, and then the lawyer disperses the funds on the files and covers all the disbursements for the claims. And then when the claim ultimately settles, the money that's been spent out on the disbursements is recouped and recaptured and comes back. And then is brought back into what I would call the sort of the launching pad account, at which point it can either be put out again for other files, or it can be paid out back to people that have lent money in. So legal lending is essentially lending money to a lawyer such as myself, so that I can execute and put money out on disbursements on all the files as they are progressing along.
Okay, so one point of clarification for somebody who like me, who doesn't know legal terms, like what does disbursement include? What are those reports like for? Like, is it...
Yeah, sure. So like I say, the main ones are the reports. So as an example, if it's an injury claim, which the majority of them are, you're going to have reports that are going to deal with whatever that injury is. You may want to get a report from an orthopedic surgeon. You may want to get a report from a family doctor. You may want to get a report from a neurologist to essentially say what's wrong with the person, because in the system that we work within, you require those reports to go to court ultimately and prove whatever the injury is. You just can't walk into court and say the person's got a certain problem. You need some expert to say what the problem is and what the prognosis of that may be, and you have to engage and pay an expert to actually say that. And so we get those reports for that purpose.
So it's doctor's reports, and then you have to pay for those because you're not taking any retainer from the clients. Okay.
Yeah, that's correct. Pretty much. Doctor reports can also be like things like economic reports as well, which will project somebody's income loss as an example or something like that, but primarily medical reports.